Alright, so The Miseducation of Cameron Post. This is directed by Desiree Akhavan, I want to say. Yeah, I have never heard her name, but it's starring Chloe Grace Moretz and also John Gallagher Jr. I remember him from Short Term 12, which this movie kind of reminded me slightly of that a little bit. But also he's in Newsroom as well. So this movie was a fantastic film, but also a kind of a hard one to watch. I watched it at my local independent theater here in Springfield, Missouri, the Moxie. I really highly recommend checking it out if you've never been there, if any of you are, from around Missouri or Springfield. But I watched it with a friend, and I really didn't know much going into this movie. I didn't know what it was going to be about. I looked at a still of the movie, it's just a pickup truck and 3 kids. And so I really didn't know what this movie was about at all. But I went into this movie kind of blind, which was really good because I didn't really know too much, obviously. I'm just repeating myself. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the story and how the plot kind of sets up. Just a really short, brief thing on that. My pros, my cons, without any spoilers, and just tell you whether or not you should watch this movie and check it out. So the setup is Chloe, who's playing this character, is kind of in high school. She's, I want to say, around 16, 17 years old, and she is in love with another woman. It kind of sets it up where you can tell that, it's just, she has this kind of exploration about herself with this other girl, and it all culminates on a prom night where they're hanging out with their dates, their guy dates, and then they go back to the car, and then they get caught by one of the guy dates, at least Chloe's date, and he freaks out, and her family freaks out, and her family is very, very Christian. I want to say evangelical or Baptist. I couldn't tell you exactly what. However, they send her off to a re-education, so obviously that's where the miseducation. They send her off to a gay conversion camp, more or less. That's what they're doing. They're sending her off to a place to make her feel better and rid herself of this sin and this disease that is being gay or bi or lesbian or whatever. And so that's literally what the setup of this film is, and it's kind of, I'm going to just transition into my pros and my cons as well. So the things I liked about this movie, I thought that the performances were really well done. Sometimes it was a little bit shoot in, but for the most part, and I mean 95% of this movie, it felt very real and also really tackled an issue that I really don't know too much about, and I know a lot of people don't know about as well, but maybe someone out there has family members or knows about these kind of things are going on. It's an awful situation, and it really is just something that is not really talked about. I mean, we hear about it, but it's not really shown. So this film kind of portrayed that in a light. Obviously, it was a little bit Hollywoodized, so that could be kind of a con. But there was a lot of insidious things. A lot of things were kind of mentioned or kind of alluded to that really weren't shown on camera, which was really messed up. And a lot of this stuff that's going on is just trying to control other people's lives. And so this was a hard movie to watch at the same time that it was an enjoyable watch. It had some moments in it that I really liked that had a little bit of comedic, kind of like a black comedy mixed in. So the kids, obviously, they're dealing with this situation, so sometimes they're just messing around, kind of trying to enjoy themselves from the shitty situation that they're in. And that's what made it some of the moments comedic. And I really enjoyed one particular scene where Chloe jumps on a counter and starts singing, hey, what's going on? That song. And so, obviously, I just butchered that. But anyway, it was a really fun time for those kind of moments, but it also delved into the darker moments as well. So there's a really good balance there. However, I thought that, now, despite all those pros, I think the cons is, those insidious moments that I talked about, I wish they were expressed in a little bit more of a light. And so I really kind of wish that they would express that more, make it a little bit more raw. But this is just my own personal gripe. I thought the movie was very fantastically done. I would highly recommend checking this movie out. So my score on this movie is a 4 out of 5. Giving out a lot of 4 out of 5s because there's a lot of good movies out that really people aren't talking about. If anyone, if anywhere near you a miseducation of Cameron Post is around, or you're comfortable watching a movie like this, I think everyone should watch a movie like this, honestly. just to understand an aspect of culture that you're maybe not aware of, or maybe, you know, reinforces maybe perspective changing and stuff like that. So anyway, I give this movie 4 out of 5. I would recommend checking it out. Give this video a like, comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on this video and also on this movie. Share this video and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.